I'm interviewing David, how do you say your last name?
Waddell.
Waddell. It's been in Clearwater since 1957.
Right.
You need to hear the story of this guy. You're 87 years old now,
No,
right?
84.
84. Okay, well.
I'm in good shape for 84.
Oh, you are, brother.
I ran the zip lines in Costa Rica about 3 months ago.
Okay.
But I won't do, that's too physical for me.
Okay, go ahead and tell us what happened here.
Well,
especially the stuff about this body slamming and just an insanity.
This was because I wrote on a no fishing sign on the public pier next to the $1 million marina downtown Clearwater. And I had already confronted the Clearwater police and the city administrator about getting the bicycles off the street so kids don't get killed, and put them on the sidewalk and give way to the if there's anybody walking, or ring a bell or stop or whatever. But Horn, the city administrator, he would listen to me every year and a half, 3 years, but never do anything. And then there was 5 Clearwater policemen that were killed on their motorcycles, so they banned motorcycles in Clearwater. But now they've forgotten about it. They're talking about getting motorcycles again.
Okay, well, just if you could tell us, now you went to jail.
Well, that was because I was at the ER in Dunedin because I had swallowed a cough drop in my sleep and my blood pressure went up and I had to drive myself in there.
No, I said the jail. Didn't you go?
Well, this is the hospital. Then that day, that night, I went down to the $1 Million Pier, just walking around, and I saw the sign, no fishing, and I stood on the railing and wrote, this sign, this ordinance is illegal. It's the waterfront was given to the citizens of this county, state, city in perpetuity. And now they've only let the $1 million yacht owners, they give them all the freebies, and of course the citizens are paying the taxes for the freebies. So I wrote on it, and a yacht owner said, you're defacing city property. I said, so what? And then he called the volunteer Clearwater policeman, and he didn't know what to do, so he called out a patrolman. And the patrolman, he stopped me as I was walking to my car, and he said, stop right where you are. I said, why? Shut up, he said. And I said, is that any way to talk to an 84-year-old person that's just gotten out of ER in Dunedin? He says, shut up. And then he grabbed me by the collar and body slammed me.
You're kidding me.
And I said, you're going to not have a job tomorrow morning. And then he really went berserk.
You're kidding.
Then he called, and I said, call out the city administrator and the new chief of police. They'll come out and tell you, let me go. I made a deal with them. I said, I will not press any charges that I have against you except get the bicycles off the street. Let the Lord wreak vengeance on people that are wrongdoing.
Oh yeah, and he's gonna reap the vengeance on these evil people.
Anyway, he called 2 other patrolmen out, and they came out and they were ashamed of the way he was treating me. You could tell. What is this guy, the patrolman, what is he going so hard on this guy for? And he shackles me, tears my arms up. He shackles me behind my back, and then he shackles me to the back seat of his squad car.
Wow.
I said, you're tearing my arms up. He reaches in to feel how tight they are and rips my watch band off.
Did you get your watch back?
I got my watch back, but I got the broken watch band because he just tore it in half. And then I said, how about getting me to the jail? I said, I can't take this any longer. They kept me in the squad car and talking. I said, are you driving me to the jail? No, we're going to call a transport. I said, so the transport came in an hour or so, and they were very nice.
So you sat in that car for an hour?
They said, duck when you get in the transport. And then I go to the jail, and I check in, and I say, don't I get a phone call? Yes, here's some phones. I said, well, I want to call my number. And the phone books are 7 years old, so my number's not in the phone book. And I tell them, these phone books are all 7 years old. So then they throw me in the clink with the 40 felons, And I'm thinking, holy smokes, I better stand with my back against the wall. And it turned out that the felons were the only people nice to me.
Yeah,
they were
isn't that something?
throwing me food,
Isn't
wrapped
that
up, and I wouldn't eat anything because I thought they were trying to kill me.
Yeah.
Because the guy in the that
Isn't it something? The guys in jail are nicer than the guys running to jail.
The guy that assaulted me, he said, "You're the guy that called the police, and I called a SWAT team on you a year and a half ago." I said, "I wondered who you were. I was going to look you up." So he called a SWAT team on me. And because I called the police station because I'd had a run-in, I went into the police station and said, "I want to talk to the highest officer on duty," to the woman at the window who wasn't there when I went in. I had to rattle the cages. And it took 10 minutes for this sergeant, Clearwater policeman. He comes down in 10 minutes, he's red-faced, he rushes, and I grabbed him. I said, "Where are you going?" He says, "I've got an emergency." I said, "What about my emergency?" I perceive a threat on my life at my condo through the Scientologists. They have me under surveillance.
Okay, let me ask you this, sir. So when did you just get out of jail?
Well, that's been a while
Okay,
back.
what happened here in the courtroom where they wanted, you paid them $1,500, right?
Well, no. I got out of jail. I had two. The night shift, nobody knew who they were. I said, "What does CMA or whatever their acronym?" And nobody said they knew who these people were. So I said, "Well, how can I bring charges against them when I get out?" Then I thought, when the county sheriff comes on in the daytime, I'm in good shape. But they gave me a rough time too, because I guess when you're in charge of prisoners, you become very rude. One of them said as I'm walking by,
it's not rude, it's called pride.
Okay.
Pride.
I walked by and he said, I tripped, and he says, "I hope you fall on your ass." The sheriff, the county sheriff.
Said that to you?
Yes. And
yeah,
then,
see, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, the filth that comes out of these people's mouths, they're low life.
I
don't know where they get them from.
They took all my money. I didn't have a cent. I said, "I'm going to have to hitchhike home." So I'm walking out towards 49th Street?
Yeah.
And the guy says, "You'll have to walk by. You're on the wrong side of the fence." I said, "I can't walk any farther. I'm 84. He said, he finally gave in. He says, "Okay, walk on this side." I said, "Why don't you put a cover up for all these people that come in to see the prisoners, or anybody that comes to court? And if it rains, I got soaked one day."
Yeah.
And you could put awnings over those sidewalks, or let them park closer. But anyway, then I had to hire, because I pleaded guilty, I had to hire an attorney. He wanted $1,500 up front. So I gave him $1,500. I said, I want a jury trial, because I pleaded not guilty.
Okay, I thought you said you pleaded guilty. You said
No, I pleaded not guilty.
Not guilty.
Because
okay.
they had me with obstruction, and the police lied through their teeth. They said that some were truths in their statements, and some were outright lies. And I said, I never obstructed a policeman.
Right.
They assaulted me.
Oh yeah, no, they assaulted you and they charged you with the battery on a Leo.
Yeah. So anyway, and then the attorney, he's a nice guy, but then he didn't call witnesses for my trial, and I'm getting worried. He should be deposing the policeman, and the guy that had the yacht, and the volunteer Clearwater policeman, and he wasn't. So I said, "You better delay the trial." I said, "How much is it going to cost for me to go to trial?" "Well, that's another $1,500. I said, "I'm not going to pay that. I mean, for that little deal that I wrote on the sign, I can erase it with my hand." And they say that I counted up what their evidence in their reply from the.
You mean the sign you wrote on? The sign you wrote on was.
They said they wanted $1,000 because they said they had to send us an inspector out to see the sign. That cost so much. Then they had to replace the sign, which I don't believe. and that cost so much. And I totaled them all up, and they had me charged with $1,000 just for the sign. It's a little sign, you know, high enamel. I wrote on it with ballpoint pen. You could erase it like that. And I put my name, my phone number. So, you know, I admit it, I wrote it.
Yeah. Well, you're right.
So anyway, here I am today. I told my attorney I'm not paying it. And he got on it, and he says, I'll talk to the prosecutor and see if I can't get this released, and he did. So today I'm free. I haven't paid anything yet, but I have to pay $60, and I'm off the thing. So now I can go on a cruise that I've had planned for weeks, and I was separated from my wife, but we just made up after 62 years of marriage and 24 great grandkids. So
Wow.
I want to keep that going.
Oh, yeah, listen.
So she agreed to go on the cruise with me.
Hey, man,
and
listen.
we're going.
Can you imagine, even after these many years, people, listen, the Bible says if you get married, you're going to have problems. There's problems between men and women. The court's capitalizing off this problem called domestic violence, what they call domestic violence, for getting in an argument. It's really insane what they're doing
I
here.
said to the judge, Bettenhouse, and she seems like a very nice judge, but she has to read off all this stuff, and I'm hard of hearing. There's another funny thing. Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I'm crazy like a fox.
Hey, wait 1 second. Let me just...
And I let them think that.